All right, so buckle up, everyone. We're diving headfirst into the world of geopolitics today.
Always exciting waters to navigate.
You said it. And today, our compass is set on Pakistan.
Specifically, their brand new seat on the UN Security Council.
It's making headlines, and for good reason. We've got some excerpts from a news article here, and let me tell you, things are about to get interesting.
Oh, I'm sure we'll uncover plenty to unpack. So, for anyone just tuning in, Pakistan is starting a 2-year term on the council.
Taking over from Japan, actually.
Right, and it's not their first rodeo either. This is their 8th time holding this position. 8th. That's a lot of experience on the world stage.
Makes you wonder what they've got up their sleeve this time around. Especially with the global situation being, well, how do we even describe it?
Volatile is an understatement, wouldn't you say? It's like every corner of the world is a potential flashpoint right now.
No kidding. Gaza, Lebanon, the whole Israel-Iran situation simmering away.
The war in Ukraine shows no signs of slowing down, and Europe's feeling the tremors.
And then you've got the whole East Asia situation. Tensions between China and Taiwan are sky high. Not to mention North Korea always keeps everyone guessing, and even South Korea's got its own political drama unfolding.
And let's not forget the South China Sea, with China locking horns with the Philippines and Vietnam. It's a powder keg ready to blow.
With all that as a backdrop, Pakistan steps in. What kind of impact can they even have?
Well, they're not shying away from the spotlight, that's for sure. Their UN ambassador has already made it clear that Kashmir is a top priority.
Which makes sense, right? It's been a bone of contention between them and India for decades.
Exactly. And bringing it up on the world stage like this, at the UN, it's a power move. A way for Pakistan to project influence, challenge India directly, and maybe even rally international support.
It's more than just territory, isn't it? It's about global standing. Speaking of standing, they'll actually be chairing the Security Council in July. What does that even mean, practically speaking? What kind of power does that give them?
Well, for that month, they get to set the agenda. They decide what issues take center stage.
So if Kashmir is their priority, we can bet it'll be front and center.
Safe bet. They might push for resolutions, call for mediation, maybe even try to put some diplomatic pressure on India?
It's like they're saying, we're here and we're not just making up the numbers.
Precisely. And speaking of making moves, we can't overlook their position on another key UN body.
The Islamic State and Al-Qaeda Sanctions Committee, right? Didn't even know that existed until I read this article.
Oh, it's a big deal. This committee is the one that gets to label individuals and groups as terrorists and, more importantly, slap sanctions on them.
Serious power.
Absolutely. And now Pakistan has a voice at that table. Given their history and location, right there in the thick of things in South Asia, their influence could be massive, especially when you think about their goal to be the so-called voice of the Muslim world.
Ah, yes. That got some attention, didn't it? Ambitious, to say the least.
It's a tricky tightrope walk. The Muslim world is incredibly diverse, with a whole spectrum of viewpoints and interests.
So how do you even begin to speak for all those voices?
That's the million-dollar question. It'll be fascinating to see how they navigate that, how they balance their own national interests with this broader ambition. And then, of course, you throw India into the mix.
Right. The whole UN reform debate is going on in the background here, and that's a whole other layer of complexity.
Absolutely. India's been pushing for a permanent seat on the Security Council, including veto power, which obviously shakes things up.
And Pakistan.
Not so keen on that idea.
Nope. They're more into expanding the non-permanent seats, not adding more permanent members. It's a fundamental difference of opinion, and you can bet it'll create some friction between them.
So Pakistan's stepping onto this global stage, not just at a critical time, but during a period of major restructuring.
The whole system's in flux.
Yeah.
And they're right there in the middle of it, ready to throw their weight around. It's a fascinating time to be watching, that's for sure. Makes you wonder, what's their next move? How are they going to use this new position to push their agenda? What impact are they going to have on global affairs? That's the thing about geopolitics. It's a never-ending game of chess. And today, we've just explored a few opening moves. If you're as intrigued by this as we are, hit that like button and subscribe. We'll keep diving deep into the events shaping our world.
So stay tuned, folks. There's a lot more to uncover.
Until next time.